In the sprint to the Iowa caucuses, a pause in the peace pact between the progressive Democratic presidential contenders, Senators Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren. Sanders tonight slamming new reports that he told Warren during a private meeting in 2018 that he didn't think a woman could win the 2020 presidential election. Sanders in a statement to NBC News saying, "It is ludicrous to believe that at the same meeting where Elizabeth Warren told me she was going to run for president, I would tell her that a woman couldn't win." A senior Sanders aide tells NBC News they believe Warren's campaign intentionally leaked a false description of the conversation. The Warren campaign did not respond to NBC's repeated requests for comment. The two also trading shots over a Politico report that the Sanders campaign instructed its volunteers to paint Warren as the candidate of elites in conversations with voters.
I hope Bernie reconsiders and turns his campaign in a different direction.
I have never said a negative word about Elizabeth Warren, who is a friend of mine.
Tensions rising, with polls finding the two progressives locked in a tight race. Meantime, tonight, Senator Cory Booker dropping out of the race after struggling from the start to gain traction.
Hey, NBC News fans, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down here, and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives. Thanks for watching.